Thanks. Yay. Here we go. Welcome to round 5. I'm Rashad Miller here with Randy Bueller, and we are at Pro Tour Born of the Gods. There you see Tamas Glied, and he is playing against Wei Quan Wong. And we are about to see some sweet deck listing right here.
The Southeast Asian team we've been tracking, MTG Mint, has put together a spicy one. This deck, I don't know that it was on anybody's radar. It is Blue Moon is the name that we're going with. Essentially, it's a Blood Moon Master of Waves deck.
Wait a minute.
Yes. So mono blue Master of Waves. So you've got, Vidalcan Shackles is pretty good in mono blue. We've got, Snapcaster, of course, Spreading Seas, Threads of Disloyalty. It's also splashing for Blood Moon. So,
I mean, sometimes you just play a Blood Moon.
Sometimes
I've done it
really
before.
Good. Yeah, fetch land, goes and gets some red mana. And meanwhile, on the other side of the table, a little bit more traditional.
Yeah, we see a more traditional card like Noble Hierarch.
Right. Tamas Glied is he's got a zoo deck. Now he does have he has more colors than many of the zoo decks have. So he's gone to Bant Charm, Lightning Helix, Snapcaster, Elspeth, but it's essentially Wild Nacatl, Noble Hierarch, Knight of the Reliquary. So kind of biggish, wide-ish zoo.
Mm-hmm. And the Noble Hierarch just bit the dust to a Lightning Bolt. But those are zoo decks that I remember seeing decks like that where Zoo was like, you know what, our mana base is really good, air quotes, and we could kind of play every color, air quotes, so we might as well play things like Bat Charm.
Right. I mean, effectively, Countercat, I guess, is the...
Yeah, that was old Countercat decks, and there's Tarmogoyf.
Josh Utter-Layton got second at the PT. Oh, Spell Snare.
I mean, there hasn't been another spell good enough to spell Snare in a long time. 3 land and a pass. And we get a good look at Quan's hand. And looks like he has some permission in there. None of the, cards we were talking about. Nothing that enables Devotion or any Blood Moons. But
yeah, it's not a lot of permanents. I mean, it's 2 Master of Waves. 2 Snapcasters, Spreading Seas, Threads of Disloyalty. Those are kind of the permanents. So you're not going to see the giant masters that you would typically see in Standard, but just being able to put, 3 creatures into play with 1 card, I think, is similar to what we saw Craig Wesco do with the Black-White Tokens deck, right? You spend 1 card, you get 3 dudes.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but Glied just missed his 3rd land drop.
Yeah, it's not good.
And he played a little bit of draw go, so that's not a good look from the Zoo deck. And it looks like his 3 drop spells are you see him asking, can I have a fetch land? Are you playing
he doesn't know what's going on.
I guess Trick Bind's the only card that would interact with fetch lands. I don't think Stifle's playable in this format. I don't know what else it could be.
Crazy. I don't think Glied has any idea what Wei Quan Wong is up to.
It could be Splinter 10. You could kind of think maybe you're playing a twin deck.
Spell Snare?
Sure, why not? It's a counter spell.
3 basic islands, and a Spell Snare.
Bad land draw.
All right, yeah. Yeah, both these guys 4-0. So they ran the table in draft and won the last round.
And let's see, what are we going to do with our 3 mana? It looks like a Knight of the Reliquary wants to come down. He's going to save that one for later. Tarmogoyf number 2. And it is Tarmogoyf number 2. Can I have a Tarmogoyf?
Do you remand this? He played a land already this turn, right?
Yeah, he did.
So remand means it's not coming back till next turn?
Looks like that's the plan.
Yeah, I like it.
Remand that man.
You can mana leak it next turn.
Draws card off the remand, and now he takes his turn. And Juan's not short on land drops, and looks like he also has a Serum Visions. And there's Blood Moon.
Yeah, you know what else would be good here? Vidalcan Shackles.
Ooh, very good. I mean, it'd get good once there's a creature for it to take.
Sure.
Eventually. Just have it sitting there waiting in the weeds or in the waters, as it were. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. And Blood Moon's coming down, which was in a lot of, back when Zoo was a deck, before, the unbanning of Wild Nacatl, Blood Moon was one of the major enemies of this deck. And there's Blood Moon. So now every non-basic land is only a mountain.
So that he's got basic plains now. He's got red and white mana, but no green.
Right. Plains, mountain,
Hard to play
mountain.
Tarmogoyf off mountain plains.
That makes that remand even more stinging.
Yeah, yeah.
Wei Quan also holding looks like a vapor snag in his hand.
Yep.
So if something else were to sneak through, it wouldn't stay in play for long. And there's Master of Waves. We talked about that being the blue part of the blue moon. And it just comes down as a 2/1 that brings a Budde.
Might as well.
His opponent is completely neutered. Tamas is just like, what is going on here? Is this a standard tournament where you just brought some Blood Moons? Path to Exile off of his only basic land. Gets rid of all of the threats, so.
Yeah, his list has a plains, a forest, and an island for basics. So one of each of the band colors.
There you see the head scratch. I think he's wondering, how is he going to get his one forest? That's what he's thinking. Snapcaster Mage, still not playable. Does he have an island?
He has one forest, one plains, one island. You don't need a basic mountain to beat Blood Moon, it turns out. Mountains find you.
And there is a discarded
Band Charm.
Stern Vengeance number 2. Draws a Misty Rainforest, and he gets a look at a Cryptic Command and a Lightning Bolt.
I mean, kind of an ugly game. I mean, obviously, our Zoo player was stumbling on land anyway, and now he's been Blood Moon. But at the same time, I can't turn my head away. This Blue Moon deck is like nothing I imagined.
Another discarded Band Charm. So we aren't going to see much magic here. I think we're going to see, a spell or two, and they're all going to come from Wei Quan Wong's side, and eventually Tamas is just going to give up.
All right, you haven't seen the deck list, right? What do you think? What do you think he's going to win with?
What do I think Wei's going to win with?
Yeah.
And it's not the Master of Waves that's in the graveyard?
Well, there's only one more Master of Waves.
Oh, what is he going to win with?
2 copies. I mean, he could attack with Snapcasters. That probably would get the job done.
Yeah, I don't want to pick that. Is it grindy? It's got to be a land. Nope, can't be a land because of Blood Moon.
He's got 2 Batterskulls.
Just actual
2 Batterskulls.
4/4 lifelink for 5.
Yeah, there's no way to cheat him into play. They're just Batterskulls.
Hey, sometimes a 2/1 Master of Waves isn't enough.
Right.
You got to.
Well, we saw in the Sieve hardcasting Wormcoil engine. Same basic idea, right?
I guess so. It's just one. Why not just go with Wormcoil engine?
Well, fair enough.
It's got to be to equip one of those tokens just in case your master dies. All right, and in matches that are actually progressing, David Ochoa wins Game 1 versus Antoine Ruel. Prime Evil Titan and
Valakut?
Valakut. I wonder what he's playing.
He's playing Scapeshift.
I was hoping there was another deck that.
Sorry.
Those two
Oh,
best.
you wanted Amulet? No, I'm pretty sure he's on Scapeshift.
All right, so we see a collection of fetch land over on Tomas's side, and they are all mountains. So at least they are tapped for red. But unlike Zoo decks before, doesn't look like his Zoo deck has a lot of red spells.
That is an alternate art copy of
That's a Vidalcan Shackles.
Oh, Shackles, sure.
Vidalcan Shackles just waiting for, I believe that is Vidalcan Shackles from Modern Masters.
Got it.
And Wei's just reading Bat Charm like, what could that have done? It could have destroyed the Shackles. I think he's just making a mental note of that for
next game.
Yeah.
Hey,
Whoa.
basic forest.
1 out of 60.
That turns on a lot of cards.
That turns on, I mean, half of his hand, 1 at a time.
Right. Meanwhile, Quan's hand is 5 counters and a Vapor Snag.
And there's a Vidalcan Shackles in play. So
Other than that, though, basic forest was the perfect draw.
at least we can go somewhere from here.
Right, right.
That's step 1. Maybe step 6 is profit. I don't know what steps 2 through 5 is or what they are, but.
Hey, Glied didn't even cast anything. It's like, wow.
I mean,
the Shackles makes it
Is he just fishing for information now? Has he mentally conceded this game
Interesting.
and decided that he's going to find out how? Because right now, he's not dying. He's not losing to anything.
Right. And he's the fast deck, so he's not as concerned about preserving clock. He's going to win games 2 and 3. He's not going to need 40 minutes to do it. Now he's got his forest. He's still just discarding. That's the power that Vidal can shackles.
Has a forest, discarded a green spell. Noble Hierarch, be it, which would be a second green source.
It would give him blue mana too, except that it wouldn't last.
Yeah, it would just give Wei Quan, an extra blue mana until he decides to take something better. But it looks like Tamas is counting his mana. Take a look at all the wonderful cards that are stranded in Tamas's hand. He has a Johnny, and he also has a Lightning Helix. So it looks like over on the back table, which is being covered by our text reporters, Kai Budde is up 1-0 over John Sittner. Sounds like a couple of Pyromancer's Ascensions got active. And
Storm Storm does.
Yeah. Do we even have to say what else happens after that? You could cast just about any spell in Magic.
Yeah, Kai 3-0'd the draft. So he did lose his first round with the Storm deck, but...
Yeah, it looks like he drew. Yeah, he got a draw. He
got a draw. He's on 10 points.
Yep,
My bad. He drew with Storm the first round? I wonder what he drew with.
Interesting. Maybe Gabriel Nassif somehow? Nah, I'm just kidding. But it looks like Cryptic Command is going to counter the Path to Exile and the Tarmogoyf that was allowed to resolve.
Oh, Tarmogoyf resolved, and Glied wanted to path his own Tarmogoyf in order to get his island.
Yeah, and he was like, no,
Wei Quan Wong says, no, sir, you are not allowed to Path of Exile your own creature.
I'll take a 5/6.
I'll take your 5/6, and I will deny you blue mana.
And you're wondering how I was going to win this game? There you go. Here's my 5/6. Attack you.
Neither one of us picked Tarmogoyf. Oh, spreading seas on the forest. So he gets an island, but now he doesn't have green mana any longer.
Wow, this deck just...
Jeez. I hadn't really thought about Spreading Seas Blood Moon as a combo.
At least...
But it kind of is.
Yeah, it is. It's like you got your one land that can do something.
Yeah, it's an island now. Good luck.
It's an island. And, if there's no targets, you make one of your mountains an island. Make your Vidal Shackles just a little bit better.
Crazy.
Another result on the back table, Lucas Tajak is up 1-0 over Owen Turnwall.
Path being pointed at Tarmogoyf again.
I think you just let that happen.
Yeah. You get an island. Oh, hilarious. Now Glied does draw his natural island. Now he's got 2 blue mana, just what he wanted.
And white
with
border
no green.
at that. I think he has a problem searching that one up a lot, so he...
it is true that, having a one-of in your deck that you search for a lot, white bordered is actually convenient, if a bit glaring.
And there we have the win condition. How many times, in playtesting do you think Wei Quan Wong has equipped Batterskull on his opponent's a creature?
Funny.
Just steal your creature, make it bigger, attack.
I can't imagine.
All
right. Glied has seen a victory condition.
Yep, he saw what he needed. There we go. Wong leads 1-0 over Tamas Glied.
Do we have germ tokens?
Hopefully we have germ tokens. You know what? After these messages, we'll look for some germ tokens while you listen to some wonderful messages.
Looking for that perfect card or just the right card sleeves and playmat for your next tournament? Gaming Etc. has what you're looking for. Use the promo code PTBNG to earn 10% off all singles and accessories at gamingetc.com. Ignite your competitive spark by playing in a Grand Prix. These open tournaments feature the best players in your region as well as top Magic pros. Upcoming Grand Prix include Melbourne, Barcelona, Richmond, Montreal, and Buenos Aires. Visit wizards.com/Grand Prix for a complete schedule.
And we're back, and you get a good view of the feature match area. We have Kai Budde in the back, but this is not what we're looking at. We're going to be looking at David Ochoa versus Antoine Ruel. And another Blood Moon, but in a more conventional deck from Ruel, who's playing, looks like a Splinter Twin variant. Up against David Ochoa, which we heard was playing a Scapeshift.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's playing any blue in his Scapeshift. It might just be straight green-red.
I think so.
Yeah, especially with, I think he had a Primeval Titan. Oh, so he's playing
they play the Prismatic Omen version?
Right, so he's playing a Prismatic Omen version, which it's a lot easier on the brain because you don't have to math your way to 20 damage.
When your Valakuts count as mountains also, you can kill with less land in play.
Ooh, Colony Heart Expedition. Haven't seen this card in a while. One counter on it. It has landfall. Whenever you play a land, you get to put a counter on Colony Heart Expedition. And when it has 3 counters, I believe, you can sacrifice it and search for 2 basic land, put them to the battlefield tapped. Serum Visions over for Antoine Ruel. And it looks like he's going to make a land drop. He's holding a counter spell and another Serum Visions along with a Simian Spirit Guide, but I imagine that's going to stay in the hand to be a mana source and not come down and battle on the empty board. All right, passes the turn back to David Ochoa. Looks like he just has a grip of land. There's one spell and it's a Primeval Titan. Might be a second one. Can't quite see what. Oh. Looks like a Swan Song. Got to be out of the sideboard. There's a Swan Song. Wait, not out of the sideboard?
Main deck.
Main deck Swan Song.
Main deck 4 Swan Songs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? I like seeing that card in the main deck. Now,
yeah, there's some tech in the Antoine's Splinter Twin deck for sure.
Yeah, he definitely he has Swan Song. Are you talking about Antoine has Swan Song in the main deck?
Yeah.
Because
oh my goodness.
Yes, the Swan Songs in the side over.
It's in Ochoa's sideboard.
Yeah, they are battling.
They both have 4 Swan Songs.
And Swan Song can counter Swan Song, right?
Swan fight.
Yeah, a little Swan fight. It's like no, I don't want the 2/2. I mean, speaking of swans, I mean
Flyers.
There's a Bitter Blossom. You know, fresh off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, the very hefty bench.
We have a Fairies sighting finally?
Yes, we finally see Fairies in the back. John Sitton is playing it against Kai. So actually, he played a Mistbind Click, which is usually the turn before you win with the Fairies deck. But it turns out against Storm, sometimes it just doesn't matter. It's like 4/4 and you're dead. All right, so now we need to find out how this works. Prismatic Omen,
Blood Moon?
I think it might be a time step thing, but I don't know. That's where we have the judge. He's on a call right now, and we'll get the info from Brian David Marshall down there once we figure out exactly how that interaction works. I want to say that. So Blood Moon makes them mountains. Prismatic Omen says all your lands are every land type.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be time step, but I'm not sure. It was a battle of time stamping, and since the Prismatic Omens came down last, its effect is what wins. Which means I think another Blood Moon would then overlay on top of that.
The Blood Moon is turning off Valakut, though. I mean, that's the big thing the Blood Moon is doing. It means that Valakut isn't actually dealing any damage when mountains come into play.
All right, so we are doing Deceiver XR beatdown right now. While the getting's good, because we know that they're. I thought there was a Primeval Titan there. I think it looks like there's still a Primeval Titan over in David Ochoa's hand.
Yeah, well, he didn't have the 2 green because of the Blood Moon. I mean, he had the 1 basic forest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess he can go get more. I mean, the Prismatic Omen would have given him the 2nd green and also the Colony Heart.
Right. He's probably just going to get 2 non-actual mountain land, I would assume. It's probably the safest play. Probably doesn't matter that much, but it looks like the choice is forest and island. And it looks like those are 7th edition Japanese.
Which? Those are Tempest, right?
No. These are they? Those aren't Tempest.
The sleeves are white, not the borders. That's the Lightning Island from Tempest, I think.
I don't see a Tempest symbol. I don't know what they are. I'm sure someone in Twitter was like, yeah.
Oh, I think, you know what? I think that the core set's reused the basics from. I think it might be the art was originally printed in Tempest and then reprinted in something else.
Maybe.
The core set's definitely reused land art from expert level sets for a while.
We're being yelled at on Twitter as we speak, I'm sure. Sorry, I don't know where land are from. I play Mirage Forest. That's all I play. Mirage Forest or Unglued. Those are pretty sweet.
So yeah, here is the Primeval Titan. Yeah, we see the basic island in play for Ochoa. He has there's no blue cards in his main.
No, but he does have a Swan Song in his hand right now. So.
Right. Yeah, it's the 4. There are blue cards in his main. He's got a couple Izzet terms.
Okay.
But he's basically red-green. The cool tech is Anger of the Gods, where a lot of people have had Pyroclasm in previous iterations of Modern.
Ooh, I mean, there's a lot of relevancy to that extra point and the exiling.
I feel like Anger of the Gods is a big deal at this Pro Tour. Lots of people are playing lots of Anger of the Gods. I mean, that's essentially the way they're reacting to all the Zoo decks that are showing up. I mean, and it's good against Melirapod. He gets the job done against almost anybody with creatures.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of decks that wish they had an Anger of the Gods back when Zoo was, like a standard deck.
Right.
When they were trying to team up double Pyroclasm to wipe the board, and it just wasn't working. So still a lot of fetching and card selection for Antoine Ruel. Hasn't really pieced together a combo. Has a lot of resistance in his hand. Actually, he has the one Swan Song in his hand, but he did get a sleight of hand into a sleight of hand and still has a sleight of hand to use. Probably going to find a Serum Vengeance with that a little bit later.
Yep. Primeval Titan is not going to take too long to win this game, though.
Is it because of all the land that it's going to go get?
Not this time. I mean, Trips Valakut would be awesome if only those Valakuts were something other than basics.
Then Valakut land dash mountain.
Dash everything else thanks to the Prismatic Omen.
So I guess it would say mountain.
These lands are very confused.
What are we?
We are everything basic.
But we aren't. But we lost our identity. I don't feel like I'm me anymore. So just to give you a heads up, our main match of Tamas Glied versus Wei Quan Wong, they are currently looking at their opening hands, and if they decide to keep, we will be back to that match, as you can see in our little picture-in-picture up in the corner. Right now, we're going to see how far Primeval Titan can get in this game before we have to take a break. And it looks like Glied sent his 7 back, so he'll be looking at 6 in a little while. And there is the third sleight of hand that sees a couple of lands, so he keeps an island. When is it time to start the Simian Spirit Guide army?
Let's get 2 Spirit Guides in his hand?
Yeah, he does. I mean, Grey Ogre in play, is that better than 1 mana in your hand?
He needs 1 more, and then he can block Primeval Titan. Even an Exarch would be good enough.
Yeah, and we don't have the life total, so we don't know if attacking for 2 a few turns prior would have been a big dig.
I mean, he's chipped away for 1 with Exarch a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Primeval Titan.
Yeah, so right now the life totals are 7, 18 in Ochoa's favor, so it didn't matter. Or flavor, sure. I don't know what that flavor would be. I guess interesting hats / weird mustache.
The thinning effect from the Primeval Titan starting to become relevant too. Ochoa's going to be drawing mostly gas here.
Yeah, but probably not before Antoine Ruel just dies.
Well, I mean, it's going to take 4 hits. Like with Valakut not doing anything, you're seeing a lot more of that thinning effect than you normally would.
So.
And, yep, there's the first Simian Spirit Guide setting.
Yep, and the second one's going to come down right after it. And we will leave this match right there. We'll let you know what happens at the end of that game. But right now we have to get back to our main match because we have to see Blue Moon versus Zoo fresh off of the ban list. Well, I mean, the deck was still a deck, but Wild Nakata was a big deal.
Was not a deck.
It tried. It was kind of. It was a Zoo with fewer cats.
Yeah, the other thing going on, John Sittner has tied up the match against Kai Budde. This can click better when your opponent only has 2 land.
A lot of things are better when your opponent only has 2 land. Right, and there we see our players. Not a lot going on in this match. We just had a couple of land hit play and a Noble Hierarch, but another guy who has a time to shine now that, you know, he's not being outclassed by 1/2s.
The Noble Hierarch?
Yeah, that did the same thing and more.
Wow, Flame Slash.
Flame Slash, 4 damage to a creature at sorcery speed. That's
Yep.
That's a sideboard card right there.
Gets the job done.
It kills every creature in Zoo and,
Kills
funny enough,
it dead.
in Living End. Kills all those too.
Spreading Seas.
Spreading Seas on the Godless Shrine. Is that a god? No, that's a Temple Garden.
Yeah, no green mana.
No green mana, but still a
It's still a 3/3 Nicodle.
Absolutely, gets in for 3.
It's funny.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So you don't need a Forest. Forest does not give him any power. Forest gets him into play, and after that, Forest is done.
All right, so there's
And there's the basic Forest.
That doesn't look like the same basic forest he used last game, but maybe it was.
I think there's only one.
So there is a Scavenger News. Scavenger News playing the role of you didn't draw Tarmogoyf this turn.
This is not really the matchup Scavenging Ooze is for. But he still attacks.
It still gets valued. I mean, it's a 3/3 effectively once a green mana untaps.
Wow,
Which, you know,
green
is
mana
pretty
is a little hard to come by.
good. You have to use it carefully. So the swan fight happened.
We had a Swan fight. Swan Song countered Swan Song.
I feel like you may want to be the one that gets the 2/2 though, right? So, and David Ochoa wins. So I guess you could give your opponent a 2/2.
If you're attacking with Primeval Titan, it's okay.
Yeah. So David Ochoa wins that match 2-0. The power of the Swan Song. So back here, 3 mana looks like a Threads of Disloyalty is going to take that Scavenger News while the getting's good.
This deck is crazy.
This deck has a bunch of cards that I want to be playing with right now.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not the Flame Slash, but everything else, I'm in. And I'm sure I could be convinced that that should be
Yeah,
in
what's
my
wrong with Flame
sideboard.
Slash?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, it doesn't really excite me. I'm fine with it being in the sideboard. If someone's like, this is the only card that deals with the way that the matchup goes, then I would take it.
Yeah, that 4th point of toughness is a big deal in this modern format. I mean, you see Quan has Anger of the Gods as well. We were talking about the fact that Ochoa has it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people playing Anger of the Gods, and so the Zoo decks, many of them have responded by going to 4 toughness creatures.
Oh,
Not so much Glied. He's got a pretty aggressive version of the deck in terms of his creature set, but a lot of people are playing Loxodon Smiter. You know, they're playing Knight of the Reliquary. You know, they might go up to the top of the curve, might have Thundermaw Hellkite.
yeah, there's always been that magic number of how tough, like what toughness you want your creatures to be. And
Right.
3 used to be like, only Lightning Bolt kills it. Like
Right,
all the
exactly.
sweepers just die. You dodge all the sweepers. But then Anger of the Gods came
Yeah.
out. And then you're like,
And it
can't-
feels like everyone's first Zoo deck was just destroyed by Anger. It's like the Zoo deck that everybody started with was aggressive. It's like, you know, Curd Ape, Loam Lion. And then Anger started getting into all the control-ish decks, especially the blue-reds. So the Zoo decks went up to Smiter, Knight of the Reliquary. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that dance shakes out.
I don't think you can get much higher than 4. I mean, we can't get to the 5 toughness.
Well, I mean, you can throw in a Baneslayer or a Thundermaw.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah,
I
if
like
you go for
Thundermaw.
yeah.
I like Thundermaw.
Especially, like, if Fairies was actually a thing, Thunderball would be even better, right?
Oh, yeah, it would be super good. It's actually pretty good against Craig Wesco's deck that we saw. We
Right,
peeked in a
right,
couple of
right.
times. So, what did we miss? Not a lot. Just a couple of Serum Visions. He picked up, looks like he picked up a remand that he's thinking
that-
about pointing at.
Snapcaster?
Yeah.
Which is, that there are no targets for. Snapcaster is just a 2/1.
It's just a 2/1, but, you know, that's 2 more power. He gets to attack for 5 now. And
Yeah.
Wong's at 14.
Yeah, I mean, he really wants a red mana, is what Quan wants.
Right.
That Anger of the Gods can sweep away Zoo's board, but he's sitting on a 1 red mana right now.
Okay, so we have another match result. Lucas Tajak wins 2-0 over Owen Totenwall. And that's going to bring him up to 12 points. That's a nice 4-1 record for Lucas. It's got to feel pretty sweet.
That was a pod mirror? Or no, it's pod over Zoo. Owen's got kind of the Zoo deck I was just talking about, actually. Loxodon, Miter, Knight of the Reliquary, etc.
Slightly bigger zoo. Maybe the San Diego Zoo?
Does Austin have a zoo? It's where Kibler won with it, right?
I'm sure there has to be at least one, right?
It's still, I mean, that's really.
And everyone from Austin's like, no, we don't have a zoo.
Yeah.
0 zoos.
Teferi. Love this deck.
Teferi. You think, are there any teachings in this deck? I mean,
I mean, metaphorically, yes, clearly.
All right, so Noble Hierarch is asking, does it have permission to play? And Remand is just, you know what, I think, do you think Wei Quan just put Remand and Blood Moon in his deck with
Remand is a beating of Blood Moon.
just to troll his opponent? It's like, get your mana base into the way where you just have the one mana of the color that you really need, and then you just play your one card a turn, and you're like, no, Remand that.
It's not even Blood Moon this game, right? It's just Spreading Seas.
I know. I mean, it's doing the exact same job.
Right.
Well, at least Tamas gets to attack for 5 each turn. And Vapor Snag. It's going to bounce the Wild Nikado. I'm sure it's going to try to come back down and play pretty soon. But we'll see if Wong has yet another bounce / counterspell for it.
Well, he's got Snapcaster for Vapor Snag, or what else is in there? Oh, he can Snapcaster Flame Slash, but he'd have to do that at sorcery speed.
Yeah. It could be that that's the play, just let that resolve.
I mean, the play for Quan is draw a mountain.
Right. And this gives him the opportunity to draw a mountain. And if that doesn't work out, then you can go with the Flame Slash. But no, looks like he's just going to go for it.
Snapcaster the Snag.
You think he's given up on Anger of the Gods?
No, I think he's just, his life total is starting to get perilously low. I mean, he doesn't want to get burned out by a couple lightning bolts if he can help it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but the Nikado wasn't attacking him then. It was just, he had a whole turn to draw the mountain.
I think he figures he's got enough cards in his hand that he's worried about mana efficiency. He's been kind of pinched on mana. He just didn't want to let 3 mana go unspent.
I think he's going to ambush something with the Teferi because no one will ever see that coming.
It blocks Nikado, doesn't it?
It blocks it so well.
Wow. Although his love of spending his mana efficiently. Well, he can ambush this.
I think he's got to take 2. Oh, he's got to just do it now. He's not,
it seems right.
Yeah,
it's so little life.
But it's not as greedy.
Well, if he'd known he was going to have the 5th land, he probably would not have Snapcaster Vapor Snagged.
Okay, so there's a second mountain that he needed for
and
Anger
Thomas Glied, we're gonna see another head scratch, right?
There's got to be.
He's going to be shaking his head like, what just happened to me?
Teferi, what does this guy even do? I didn't play during Time Spiral Block.
Wow.
Yeah, we see him reading Teferi right now, and let's put Teferi up on the side where it has a lot of things. Right now, it's really just beast attack with 1 less power. It's a 3/4 with flash that gives all your other creatures flash, and your opponent has to play a sorcery speed for the rest of the game.
Right.
And Noble Hierarch hits the battlefield, and
Teferi also survives Anger of the Gods.
Does survive Anger of the Gods. There's a lot of, I want to call them synergies, but that's probably the wrong word.
There's a lot of tech?
Yes.
A lot of spice?
A lot of spice, a lot of tech. So now that the tables are turned, at least in Wong's mind.
Yeah, he's on the offense. Who needs Anger of the Gods?
5 mana, and there's Batterskull. Germ token, please.
This is crazy.
This is extremely one-sided, and
he's going to 5-0 if he holds on here.
Yeah, this is a mostly mono blue deck.
Yeah,
destroying the premier aggro deck of this format.
Sure.
Isn't that? When does that ever happen before?
Glied has had mana problems. I'm not sure Like, the matchup is probably not nearly as one-sided as it's
Wait,
looked
has
here.
Glied had mana problems, or has Wong just destroyed his mana base?
Both. I mean,
Okay.
Glied stumbled in both games. Like, he mulliganed to this game.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's not even Blood Moon. It's just, like...
It's just one spreading seed.
Although, I mean, you are correct, though, that Glied's deck is vulnerable. Like, the mana base and the Zoo decks are pretty fragile.
This reminds me of the Jund decks that used to lose to like a single spreading series
Right,
back in the
absolutely.
day. But no one just had the. I don't think anyone had the guts to put spreading seeds in
Yeah,
their
see,
deck.
now, I've seen the Merfolk deck that's running around plays a lot of spreading
I mean,
seeds.
there's synergy with that card, though.
Right, the Island Walk is super relevant.
Now,
And that deck also plays Master of Waves.
Right, this is literally just a Stone Rain.
No, Master of Waves. It's Devotion for Master of Waves.
Okay.
It's the majority of the blue mana pips. What are you talking about?
No, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
You know, I only saw Master of Waves for one turn.
Sure.
Like last game, I forgot that this was a Master of Wave deck.
It's got a couple Masters of Waves.
There's 3 pips in that Teferi.
It's still one of in the sideboard, but yeah. More Spreading Seas. No white mana for you.
He was getting so close to casting one of those Johnnies. You think there's a cat theme going on over on Tamas' side, or is that just, they were good? Or did he go on Gatherer and search for cats?
Search for cats. I think we'd see Brimaz if that was the case.
Oh, those are Elspeths.
Not.
Oh, I thought
Not
they
a
were.
Johnny's.
That's a what art is that, Elspeth?
These guys take their decks seriously, like in terms of collecting good-looking copies, and it's a dual decks, Elspeth, foil lands.
Yeah, he just takes it. I mean, you really don't have a choice. I guess he could have chosen to trade his Germ token for Wong's Germ token, but the fact that Wong has so much mana, he can return his Batterskull and then play it again pretty easily. Had to reread. Which ability do you think that Tamas had to reread?
Yeah, each opponent can play spells only anytime he or she can play a sorcery. It's a little tricky. I think he's got a path in his hand. He's trying to figure out what to do with.
It's like, this card isn't that good now that it's a sorcery. You get to untap the land and use it? Ugh. But a man's got to do what a man's got to do. So Path to Exile is going to attempt to take out Teferi, but usually decks that are running Teferi
Can defend him.
Yeah.
I think it's Cryptic Command.
Yeah, there's a Cryptic Command right there on the top. Looks like he's going to
Counter and tap.
Yeah, counter and tap and attack for lethal.
Yeah, he gets the Germ token too, right? Or is he responding with...
He can't respond with anything.
Yeah. Well, he can respond by tapping for mana.
Yeah, that is true. And I think he did a
The
tap.
mana floats.
Yeah, I think he did tap for mana. And there's a Wild Nikado. And there's another Wild Nikado.
Okay. So, yeah. Blockers.
Anger of the Gods. Going to clear the way.
There's the handshake. Anger of the Gods clears away so that you can attack with Germ Token and Teferi.
And this was
just the way we imagined Modern working.
5-0. Wei Quan Wong moves on with his Blue Moon deck. And you know what? We didn't see any moons in at least the second game, the first game.
Right. No, Spreading Seas did the damage there instead of the Blood Moon. There is a Blood Moon in play on another match. I think I heard in my ear.
Apparently, there are Blood Moons in play at 3 of the matches. So it looks like, yeah, we're going back to the back table, and this is
John Sittner's Fairies deck against Kai Budde's Storm.
And there is a Blood Moon in play.
So the Fairies deck has 6 mountains in play.
But there's also a...
yeah, Bitter Blossom got in just in time.
Yeah, Bitter Blossom snuck in, and there is a Grafdigger's Cage, which is probably a little bit of a nuisance for Kai, but this deck can play around that spell.
What does it do against the Storm deck?
It stops you from flashing back cards. That's it.
Okay.
6 in my opinion. Yep.
Yeah, you can't do the Pass and Flame. It shuts off Pass and
Flame.
Flame.
So it shuts off Pass and Flame, which is a big
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And those desperate Ravens that are in Kai's hand aren't very effective anymore.
Yeah, no flashback.
And just so you know, Bitter Blossom tokens are only black, but you
Our
know,
tokens are blue-black?
yeah, you know, we've cut some corners.
All right, Kai's got a Grape Shot, which takes out those tokens and
Yeah.
Spell Stutter Sprite.
It looks like it's Wrath Shot. And
Yeah,
I think
that's what this deck does sometimes. And if you can't finish the opponent off, then sometimes you just got to kill all their creatures.
yeah, Kai's down to 7, so those tokens were more than just a little threat.
Kai has 520 career pro points. Those numbers are absurd.
That's a lot of pro, and he's only 34. He's younger than I am.
Kind of scary.
He's making me feel pretty old and young at the same time. Somehow, I don't get it.
10 Pro Tour top 8s,
15.
7 of which he closed the deal and got the win.
Well, you know, if you're gonna play on Sunday, you might as well make it count.
Yep.
And the 15 Grand Prix top 8s, 69% win percentage. Just amazing numbers.
One of the best.
At Kai Budde, follow him. Sleight of hand. Keeps him out, and he's looking for land drops. And there's a second copy, and he gets a Grape Shot. Yeah,
Oh, it's empty the
warrens. Empty the warrens, yeah. Past in Flames is going to...
14 mana. This prevents me from flashing.
Oh, that's a... that wasn't a Past in Flames. Oh, that was a Pyrite Ritual?
Yeah, so Kai's got 14 mana. He knows
Past in Flames.
he can cast Past in Flames, but he can't flash back. So he's going to go for a giant Empty the Warrens.
And
That's good enough.
It's a good draw.
yeah.
Gigantic Empty the Warrens, giant horde of Goblin tokens. Sitting there shaking his head. He thought maybe my Bitter Blossom can actually...
You know what? When that's your only hope, you just got to go with it. And you know what? Sometimes Bitter Blossom will carry you to the victory. But Kai, he moves on to...
He's still undefeated, right? He's got a draw,
he
but
is
no
undefeated,
losses.
has a draw. So
4-0-1.
Yep, 4-1, 13 points. John Center stays at 9 points, drops to 3-2. You know what? I'm not usually the person who will decide to sleeve up a mostly mono blue deck,
Okay.
but I think I want to play some Teferi now. and I would never say that. I think I'm putting them in the main deck because I think I need the 3 pips.
For Master?
Yeah, for Master. We want our Master to be just that much better. And you know, you can play your Master at the end of turn. Have you ever done that before? Just ambush somebody with a bunch of sea ponies? Like, attack.
I have not. Master of Waves at instant speed does seem better.
See, now you want to do it, don't you?
I kind of do.
Are you building another commander deck?
I was going to say, yeah, Teferi is a commander that I would absolutely sleeve up. Teferi, I just play all the blue cards I used to put back in the 90s, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you did that, and I think I saw that deck, and it was actually pretty sweet.
It's kind of fun.
I give you a lot of, I tease you a little bit because it's mono blue, but deep down, I want to play Stalking Stones too.
There you go.
Just and Whisper the Muse. So, so I believe we're ready to send it back to the news deck so we can see what happened during the rest of the rounds. So take it away, Rich. Maybe. Okay. Maybe we're not ready. We're not ready for Rich. Rich is still on his lunch break.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he has designer lunches. He goes to a special piece of place, and it has to be designed for him. I don't know what it's called. It's like the Fuddruckers for.
Fair enough.
It's like La Fuddruckeria.
What do you think of the Storm deck the guy's playing?
It's pretty standard. It's been around. It hasn't really been affected by any of the changes in the
Not the recent ones.
Yeah, and
Feels like it was good initially, and then it got hit by some of the same bannings that neutered the Splinter Twin deck a little bit. Like losing the sort of good blue card drawing selection spells hurt the deck, and so it feels like the ban list is sort of chipped away. But John Finkel for one has never stopped playing that deck.
I know that's what I remember.
You look at Kai's deck list. Deck designer is listed as John Finkel.
Well,
I mean they're both on the same team. They're on Pantheon. I don't know how many other Pantheon players decided to play the Storm deck, but John plus Kai. We could see some Storm deep into day 2 with those two running.
And you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with watching Storm a little bit more. All right. Now we're ready for Rich, and he has a nice interview lined up for it. So, we're going to Brian on the floor for an interview. So let's take it away, Brian.
Hi, everybody. This is Brian David Marshall coming to you from the floor of the feature match area. I am here with none other than Pro Tour Hall of Famer Kai Budde. Why the sigh when I say none other? I mean, you are one of the two most famous people to ever play this game. You're a Pro Tour Hall of Famer. You have 7 wins. I mean, you deserve a little bit of accolade.
Sure, but I'm certainly not the most feared player in this room right now. I'm lucky to be top 20, I think.
I think people at home would be thrilled to be top 20. I got to ask you, though, how did you come to take shelter in the Storm deck here?
Okay, I mean, I have never played Modern before. Like, the last time I played the similar format was the PT Amsterdam, which was new extended, which is basically Modern, I think. There are a lot of different decks, and there's no way to break the format. Like, you can't come up with a new deck. The format is old. There's a ton of very good decks. Like, the new cards have little impact because they're so powerful cards. And then you kind of had to find a deck that suited your playstyle. The best deck is probably Owen Turtenwald's Wild Noctile deck. It's like a Knight of the Liquidly big Naya deck. I mean, big means 3 casting costs in this format, but it's a big Naya deck. But that's not really my style. Like, John has been playing Storm all the time. He told me it's a good deck. Yui told me it's a very bad deck and it's a trap and I shouldn't go for it. But Storm just really fits my playstyle. And our hope is that people are unprepared. I mean, usually they have like 1 or 2 sideboard cards, and then it's very easy to screw up against the Storm deck. For example, if you play turn 2 Electromancer and they think it's a good idea to cast the Tarmogoyf, instead of killing it, they just dead on their 3rd turn. I mean, that's how it works.
I have to ask you something else. From the interview I did with Tom Martell about the preparations that the Pantheon put in, he gave up this little tidbit that you do most of the cooking for the team. Is this true?
That is true, but that's not due to me being a great cook. That's like there's no one else. I mean, I'm not eating frozen pizza the whole week, but cooking for 15 people is somewhat challenging. I mean, I've not ever done that before or something, but it worked out, I think.
It was edible?
It was edible, yes.
All right. Well, for Kai Budde, this is Brian David Marshall sending it back into the booth or the news desk or somewhere. I'm not sure.
So I was going to ask you what a meal like for 15 people looks like, but I'll save that for later.
Know.
We'll never know. Maybe Rich will tell us over at the news desk. So let's find out what's happening over there.
Everything he said about designer lunches is a lie. A lie, I tell you. Welcome back to the news desk. Rich Hagan here, and we're going to go straight to the scoreboard. Now, again, this isn't a complete leaderboard. This is just some of the players who are at 3-0 in the draft pod. So let's take a look at where we are. The grey names on the right, you can see all of their results add up to 4. That means they're still playing. The results are not in for them. That includes Matthias Hunt, who has a terrific deck. I spoke to Josh Utter-Leighton. We were watching Matthias Hunt's match together, and without spoiling things, Josh said, yeah, you know, Hunt's deck is fantastic when it draws in its opening hand, and it's completely terrible when it doesn't draw in its opening hand. And we'll fill in that blank for you after the next round, because Matthias has very kindly said he'll come in and attempt to bend our fragile little minds with what he is playing. Kibler's still playing at 4-0, Mackle 4-0, McLaren 4-0. Melissa DeTora lost her first round of draft, as did Quentin Martin of England. But the other players, the players that have gone dark this round, as it were, on the scoreboard, you can see already. Patrick Dickman, now this is huge. It was big news when he got to 3-0 in draft, because he is a Modern master. He's a European Grand Prix winner in Modern. He's won his first 2. It will shock no one, I think, to suggest that some islands and some mountains may have been involved. More updates coming in there. Michael Hetrick is 5-0. He defeated Florian Pills, who, by the way, has a 60% win rate at the Pro Tour, which is kind of your benchmark for somewhere above good and heading into super good territory. So that's a very big win for Hetrick, going to 5-0. I believe he was testing with the Elliot and Travis Wu plus Martin Goldman-Kirst on that little squad. Gardenis Vidugiris, 5-0, regular representative of the Lithuanian national team. Nico Boni, 1-1 in Constructed, as is the Mexican Marcelino Freeman. Martin User from Channel Fireball. Stephen Mann looking for his second Pro Tour top 8. You see Pills there. Ben Stark, now 4-1. He won his match 2-0 in no time. Just basically he got to do his thing, turn 4 or 5 twice, no counter magic from the other way. And we're just seeing Kai Budde there in action, still undefeated, 4-0. 0 and 1. Flock, though, Mori, Rada, Van Leeuwen, they've all lost both constructed rounds and will think that they would be slipping out of the leaderboard. Again, remember, plenty of other players came in from draft at 3 and 0, and as we go round, probably around about round 6, we'll update and get you towards a true leaderboard as we head towards the end of day 1. So that's where things are. We're coming towards the end of the round, but over at the big wall, we have another deck tech lined up. It is with the reigning Pro Tour champion, Jeremy Desani. He is playing a deck called Blue, White, Red, Geist.